Just got to start the show off with this with Battery making his nightly. Actually, he's getting in some miles in his car. So he's here to support me and Victor tonight and put in his 2 cents.
No doubt, no doubt.
He's coming in from the ranch, and then we, of course, tonight, like I said, we have Victor, the rookie card specialist. Like I said, Saturday in my Saturday chat, I was always so happy to have Victor on. Me and him go back to my early time in YouTube. All started with that little casing that he's got behind him, and it blossomed from there.
Yep. Hi guys, thanks for having me on, Scott. It's my friends just call me Victor though. Yeah, Ricky, that's my YouTube name.
Right. I call you Victor. Most people call me Scott now and Big or whatever.
I didn't catch it though. Did Mike get his steps in today?
I'm sure he did out at the ranch. I'm gonna call it the ranch, but he went out of town for the weekend.
Okay.
Did you get your steps in, Mike?
I mean, I hit over. It was a light day. I hit over my 10K, but nothing extraordinary. But
I'll tell you what,
I honestly thought like your legal name, like on your birth certificate, it said Big Scott 35. And I thought on Victor's driver's license, it said Victor, the rookie card specialist.
Well, he didn't say it didn't. I mean, he just said everybody calls him Victor.
Yeah, Mike's lost a lot of weight since I met him back in 2017, man. He's a thin machine now.
Yeah, you hang out with him and you're like, hey, let's get pizza. And, you feel bad eating around him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's funny now, Victor, because you can watch other channels. It doesn't matter what channel you watch. And if somebody brings up rookie card, well, we better call Victor. You know how it is?
Yeah.
It's so funny. And the greatest thing is you're the Madonna of our YouTube community. I think I said this before. You're a one-name guy. We can say the word Victor, and it's no confusing what Victor we're talking about, what we're talking about, and whatever else. It's awesome.
I appreciate that, Scott, but I get confused because I get a lot of Victor Wembanyama, and right away I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Yeah, because you're right now you're watching the NBA Finals. Speaking of that, now have you seen today at my LCS this weekend? Because that is the guy that's projected number one, correct?
Mm-hmm.
NBA draft. So I saw his first Topps autograph today.
Okay.
Out of Topps U. And I was like, ain't this funny? It says first card up in the top corner. And this is so funny that I'm going to talk to Victor tonight that I see it's like an omen, like, and I'm like, and it was pulled there. And, I logged in on the pizza. I'm down. Yeah, Dave's my pizza brother. Hey, y'all, good evening. What's up, Andrew? So, I was sitting there going, and of course, we all know it's not his rookie card. It says first card in the top corner. Yeah. And it's in that Topps U.
Bowman U. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know I guess there's several different types of U out there. So I don't know if that's multi-sport or basketball. I don't know which one it is, what it came out of. Because I've also seen out of that same shop, they pulled out the printing plate of the young lady from Iowa. Her name's
Caitlin Clark, yeah.
Yeah. So they pull bangers out of my shop here in Winston that score more cards in Winston-Salem. They watch sometimes, so I like to speak highly of them.
There you
go. Virginia just hit another home run. Sorry, I'm watching the College World Series.
I understand.
You got to multitask.
Virginia's hit another home run. They're up 8-3 in the top of the ninth. It's still not. If you're a Virginia fan, I told Victor before, when you're up by this many, you feel like we're still down. Virginia is the best team ever, the best college ever, of snatching defeat out of the mouth of victory. It's awesome.
Nice.
Hey, what's up, Hitman? We got Hitman here tonight. But I don't know if your ears burned a couple of last weeks on some of my shows, Victor. I name dropped you quite a bit because for some reason last month you've been hitting on some highly controversial topics, or at least some hot topics in our community.
Okay.
And the first one is the one on. I'm going to bring up the first one because I talked about it last week with the guy from Burbank Cards, Cardfather. Is that
yes.
that? I met him briefly last year. I think it was last year at the National. Wasn't he at the National last year?
I believe so, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I met him briefly. I was introduced to him. And, I didn't have any problem. I can't see nothing. I didn't agree with everything he said, but I also agreed with a lot of what he said, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because I do agree that if you feel like there is a monopoly, there's ways to interrupt. But I think we're using the word monopoly wrong. That was my issue.
Right. You're right.
Because I think the monopoly happened when Topps got the baseball agreement, and then Fanatics got it again, where nobody else can print the Topps cards. I know there's 140 years of past history. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about for now, future stuff.
Future, right.
That's how monopolies work. It's not about
No, and I actually did a segment on the legalities of a monopoly and definitions and all of that, but that stuff's a little dry, and I went ahead and deleted that portion of that video.
Okay.
But I totally understand what you're saying, but it's one of them things where a monopoly really it's defined by government, really,
right.
And that has a process that you got to go through. And I just think like the hobby is just throwing that word out there so much. And it's like,
right.
Okay.
And I don't agree with it.
And when you look at, if we're old enough, we remember like when Google came on board, right? And they started buying up Yahoo, and they started buying up everybody under the sun. And we were all, Yahoo or Google's gonna like take over the world, and they're gonna like buy Mars, and they're gonna just but really, when you look at it now in hindsight,
right? Well, and also I have seen monopoly with the FCC. I've seen where cable companies, telephone companies. I thought the railroad got brought up on a monopoly once in the 80s, right?
There was a big. They were actually owned by the government, and they went independent in 1980. Okay. Yeah, and they separated themselves from the government.
Okay, because I knew it was something, because I was like, he works with the railroad. He's brought it up, but my whole thing was, I think we're using it because they're buying different portions. They're not becoming a monopoly. I said this last week. They're becoming the Walmart. They got a pharmacy. They got the hunting gear.
There you go.
Got, the clothing rack, and you can buy baseball cards.
Right.
You can buy baseball cards now. 2 years ago.
Right. That's right. That's right, Mike.
Yeah.
But that's more about what they were, and we were all mad because they were driving out the mom and pops.
Right.
In communities. And if we want to get angry about that, but just that's when I agree with, you got to think outside the box. That's where I agree with what he said.
Rob,
Rob. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Because this guy is like you said, he's a pillar in our community.
Yeah.
So that I agree with that. I just thought we were using the word not in the correct. More as the royal the royal word usage of monopoly that they're using. They have a lot of stuff, but not the legal monopoly of they own the whole thing, the whole.
Yeah, and my challenge, my proposal in that video was, is it possible that Fanatics can possibly make the hobby better? We've been complaining so much for so many years, the dysfunction of the hobby. Is it possible that Fanatics can make it better? Now, when we look at that as far as Google is concerned, in hindsight, I believe Google has made my computing experience better.
Right.
Amazon has made my life better. And that was another company that is, they're going to buy everybody out. They're going to like dominate the world and, you know, all this other craziness. But in reality, in hindsight now, who doesn't use Amazon is a better question.
We might complain because they don't want to pay worker, blah, 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 all that stuff. But we still, if we need something, you can go to Amazon and get it. That's the American way.
Right.
I agree with you. We've been complaining about Topps and Panini, about quality, customer care, everything under the horizon. Topps to me, and I said it before, we can go look at old videos of mine where I said Topps issue is Topps still runs their business like they're a gum company, a candy company. Instead, they're running it like a functional big money management where they didn't. To me, Fanatics is rethinking the game when it should have been rethought years ago. When it came, they're doing their own they're going to do their own distribution. They're going to do all of that stuff. So Topps should have been doing that. Topps should have had a hand in. Should have been talking one-on-one with the hobby shops, with people that made the bigger purchases. Topps should have had a hand on that with Fanatics. It looks like that's what Fanatics is doing.
Yeah, they just didn't have the marketing strategy.
Right.
They didn't have the vision that Fanatics has, you know.
And Topps had a chance to be an all-in-one shop. You don't think they had the money to back it? I mean, I think they probably did. At least have a store. But they don't. I mean, when I say a store, I mean like where people can go on and post their own cards, because I just think Fanatics is going to be the one stop. They're going to have their own breakers. They're going to have their own probably streamers. They're going to probably have all that stuff, their own channels.
Yeah.
So,
but I just don't think they're going to take over all the breakers and they're going to take over all the. No,
I don't believe that at all. I don't think they're going to. There's always, just like there's been space here now, it just depends. You're going to have to find a way to separate yourself from the others, or just like now. I mean, now everybody's seeing. I think not every. A lot of people in the hobby are seeing their hobby money shrink a little bit, some more than others. So people are being more inventive. People are selling more. The people are doing what they. Figuring out what their niche are for collecting to stay in the hobby more now, I feel like, than we did during COVID when it was hard to get stuff.
Yep.
Because of just the price of things. So, you're just going to have to, I think, I'd see more and more people get out of it because it's not easy anymore to be a flipper. It's not easy anymore to be do what we do. It's a little bit more of a grind game right now.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it. The hobby's not going to change for me because I've been collector. Do I sell some? Of course. Do I flip? Of course. It's all part of the hobby. But, I feel like some of those terms are negative, but I don't feel like they should be.
Do you have an eBay store, Scott? I wanted to ask you.
I have sold on eBay. Having a store, I do not have, like where you pay money to have the store. Like
right. How about Mike? Mike does.
Mike does.
Okay.
Mike, how many cars you got now in your store?
Just over 26,000.
What?
He's pushing for 30. Yeah. He won't get to 30 because he keeps selling.
It might be about 26,400, I think.
Wow.
If you stop selling them, you get to 30, Mike.
Yeah, well, it'll grow a little bit on Wednesday when 2023 Top Series 2 comes out.
Is that this week, huh?
Oh, you're smart. You put that new product up there, boy. That's smart.
Well, that's
along with the mix of older stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. This is some battery in the Georgia area. I know he's in Georgia, Atlanta area, I should say. I'm hearing Topps commercials during Braves radio broadcasts now. I can't even recall a baseball card commercial before.
Interesting.
That's it. When you go to
back in the 90s, but
were they?
Right in the 90s they did. Yeah.
In the 90s,
I know I can see. I would go and see signs, top signs at ballparks.
After people are done watching, Big Scott 35, after this, just pop on YouTube and look up some old baseball card commercials. You'll find a few. But
all right,
they're from like 30 years ago at this point.
My Who's have won, and they're going to be hosting the Super Regional next weekend. Woo! Either against Duke or Coastal Carolina, which both of those teams are really, really good. So there you have it. So happy right now. One step closer to Omaha. I can have a new flag if we win. We won one a few years ago. Bally Sports had a J-Rod Series 1 commercial. Yeah, I've seen actually J-Rod commercials. It's kind of lame, but at least it was a commercial.
They did air some of those on MLB Network, but I would like to see them air more. And I understand the part of the target audience for Fanatics is sports fans who don't collect cards. So it makes sense to do it on MLB Network. And maybe, I don't watch a whole lot of ESPN at this point, but I would like to see some more, like the commercials back in the day used to be geared more towards kids, which now, of course, again, the hobby's changed a little bit, but you want the kids in it as well. But, hopefully they will expand, because marketing is obviously a huge thing.
Gary wants to know if you have the Cha-Ching app on your phone so you hear it when you make a sale.
No, that's
it would drive you crazy if you did. Right?
It does buzz here and there, and I'll see it.
You just be walking around playing, singing "Money, Money, Money" all day.
It really is weird though, because it's just like hot and cold. Like I guess a lot of things. Like you'll have some days where people just go bonkers, and other days, you only sell a couple things. It just kind of depends. But I'm like 95% baseball. I do have some football, and probably like no more than 10 or 15, hockey or basketball cards.
You don't have many hockey because I bought half the hockey you had on there, all the Sports Illustrated for kids. Yeah, I do. If y'all are looking for, anything from base to number to autos, he has all that stuff on there. It's good shop. Even if Mike is listening, I would say it if he wasn't on.
Mike, are you doing that full time now or part time?
It's just part time.
Wow, good for you, man. You're killing it then. Wow. I've had a store for about a year and I've got like 1,600 items listed. That's about it. So how do you get to that amount? How long have you had the store, I guess, is my first question.
I think I basically started it January of last year. I've had an eBay account for, 20 years or whatever, but to like the store function for it, January of 2022. So
do you use like a Car Dealer Pro or something like that?
I do use Chronosio now for like the lower end stuff. I tried out Car Dealer Pro and it just didn't work for me. I want a little better.
Yeah, I tried Car Dealer Pro myself. Didn't care for it.
It just kind of depends what it is. Like the lower end stuff, I do have a feed scanner, which helps tremendously. I use the flatbed scanner a lot though, which you can do 9 at a time because Chrome cards and all this modern stuff.
Right.
And then like I'll manually list stuff like slabs and things like that. I don't go crazy listing slabs though.
How do you
I spend a lot of money grading stuff like the Mike Lieberthal card that people see on my little avatar right now. So a lot of the stuff I slab is for myself.
How do you like the Chronosio fees? I'm sorry, Scott, if I'm taking over.
No, this is awesome. Okay. I'm learning too.
Yeah, I'm learning. But how do you like the fees on Chronosio?
They're higher than Card Dealer Pro, but I just like the software a lot better, and I feel like I get a lot more done than the other aspect I found to be too clunky and probably going to be too time consuming for me. So
when you say It's more expensive. Are we talking like 3%, 5%, 10% more?
I mean, I don't have the rates in front of me, but it kind of depends. You have like the membership, and then you do pay like a monthly eBay connection fee. So when you start getting your numbers up a little bit, the price goes up quite a bit, and that's why you have to kind of keep selling through
Gotcha.
things, obviously, to pay that. Plus, you're paying the eBay fees, but it's basically like having an assistant, because
Right.
if you scan, say, I don't know, they're pretty fast with a flagship top, so I can take one of every flagship card and all the inserts. Let's say that's 400 or 500 cards, and scan them all in 20 minutes, and then I just put on they have their little AI system, and even if the tops isn't in there and it doesn't recognize it perfectly, it generally will recognize the majority of the teams and the card numbers and the player name. And then if it's all the same product, I can just click the year, boom, change them all to 2023, boom, change them all to Top Series 2, and then go down, edit, and have the pictures. And I can list 400 cards, in an hour and a half, as opposed to, spending 3 days doing it.
Right.
It saves a lot of time.
Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, it seems like that is the thing with eBay, is trying to find the time and the best way to that's one of my issues with it. And me and Mike are going to have plenty of time here in a few weeks to go over all of that. And I can take a lot of notes. So
it's a lot of work. Like, you can drive yourself crazy because you have to be listing, even if you have something that helps you go quicker. Like, certain things are going to be more difficult, whether it's graded stuff, if you want to sell sealed stuff.
Here's my question.
You spend hours and hours listing stuff, and then once you have the stuff listed, you do have to file it away at some point to have it. If it's a new product, sometimes I'll just keep it all in one box and flip through it quick, because they're going to generally sell pretty quick. But then you do spend hours and hours. Like, it's definitely a lot of work, because you spend a lot of time packing stuff and keeping up with that, making sure you're doing it consistently. So it takes a discipline,
It does.
So, Mike, when you say this, because I listen to JD, and JD talks about a lot of how he does it too. Mm-hmm. He has some success with his on a small scale. What he does, he's on a very small scale. But so you say, like, Wednesday when that new product comes out and you can get 400 out, do you go ahead and list all 400 at once, or do you hold some and do some Thursday, release some Saturday? I mean, how do you do that?
If it's a new product, I try and list it as soon as possible, because you're going to have a billion people listing stuff.
Right.
So like Wednesday, I'm hoping, praying that, UPS, FedEx, whoever this is shipped by, comes early. Unfortunately, if it's UPS, I tend to always be at the end of their route, so they'll show up as late as possible. Because the earlier the better, because my intention is to probably do a live sale Wednesday instead of Tuesday, since it's a new release week on YouTube. Right. And then, before then, it just kind of depends on the timing, but I like to get some stuff listed and get it popped on there. I'll do a sale. So if anyone is interested in any inserts and stuff like that, boom. But Series 1, I actually did incredibly well with team sets for Tops. People... I've still sold some even this week, and I mean, I had hundreds of team sets listed. That was one I had to do manually. But the thing is, when you sell stuff like Tops, the funny thing is, since we're always on YouTube, you constantly hear the YouTube chatter oh, base is dead, and this stuff's garbage. You got to buy a $14,000 box, otherwise you're useless to the hobby. And it's no. Nobody collects Topps Dynasty. That's the reality of it.
Right.
In the grand scale of the hobby, nobody collects it. That's like saying nobody collects paper clips. Out there's a handful of people who collect paper clips, but it's not enough to make, and that's the reality of the hobby. Yes, there are people who collect Topps Dynasty. There are some people who can pay $1,000 for a single card that's worth $48. Yes, there are people who go buy patches and this and that. But 98% of the hobby doesn't collect that stuff. People collect Topps flagship. People collect, Topps heritage. People build sets. People like to open products, and that's the
Well,
thing that's been missing from like
well, like
social
we were
media for a
talking with
while.
Sapphire before, I feel like people are collecting boxes instead of cards now. They get a box, sealed box, and they hang on to the sealed box because the potential of a player you might hit in a 1 in 1,000 chance of being that box. So that box is now worth as much as that one card is. So people tend to hoard these boxes, present company excluded. But it just seems like that seems to be a thing now. It's like Sapphire and these other stuff, you look for it and you just don't find it like you used to on the market. It just seems like when I start hearing that people have got literal like truckloads of this stuff stored somewhere, it's just not. It's not fun to hear that.
It's a flipping strategy on the boxes. Yeah,
right.
And I think when Mike's point with the base cards and that, and I think we're the silent majority when it comes to the lower end base card collectors. It's just we're the silent majority, and the big flashy, right, it gets all the limelight. So that's kind of the downfall of that.
I'm with you, Dave. And me and Mike have talked about this. And, if you're one of the guys that, God bless you, can afford buying the $1,000 cards every week to show on your channel, you get all the views. And us poor guys that collect and we player collect and we get our autograph and we're happy. Wednesday, when I do my additions to my PC, I got nothing over $5 in a pile, but I think these are some of the most beautiful cards I have in my collection. I'm so excited to show them off, more than like any autograph I've had in a while. So it's like, to me, the card is the thing. They're all cardboard. A piece of whatever we used to call cardboard. But that's how I feel on that. And you speak on that well, keeping the rookie card base alive and well.
Yeah.
I haven't. You love the NBA, so let me ask you this, because I used to ask this in football, and I just gave up on collecting for football. It's like,
real quick, Scott.
Yeah.
I'll pop back on, but I just pulled in. I got to move some stuff and I got to plug this thing into the wall a little bit because my charger is packed away. So,
all right, sounds good, man.
I'll pop back in.
Okay.
Now Victor can take over and spread his knowledge to
right.
the masses out there.
Oh man, that's only going to take like less than a minute, Mike.
It's going to only be one quick question, because I've asked this. I asked this to a lot of people that are football collectors. What is the flagship football card for Panini?
Yeah, yeah, that's, to me, the way I view it anyways, is it that changes, right? The flagship changes according to who has the license. And
right.
The way I define a flagship is a card company's most important, longest standing product. So for football, it's Donruss. It's the one brand that is the
right.
longest standing in the product line of all their different types.
It kind of felt like the last few years, especially during the COVID, and a lot of newcomers, which are learning like the rest of us, they're just behind us a little bit. It was Prism. It kind of changed the Prism. For a minute there, it was like Optic, and then it went to Prism, and I'm like, I can't keep up with because I like to collect the base rookie card. That's it. I want to have one of the better players, and I just kind of gave up on football. I'm not a basketball guy. I'll pick up the Virginia players, every once in a while when I see them. But football, I was still doing it, and I just it was too much. I was just kind of threw my hands up and go, I'll just stick with what I know, and that's baseball.
So in a couple years, when Topps officially takes over, now football's back on that side. Well, then the Topps flagship is going to be the longest standing product, so it'll switch back.
I gotta say, and Victor, with you being on, and y'all talk about on Hobby Hotline, and you doing your news stuff, to me this year, I don't know if it's Fanatics influence or Topps being better now that their leadership's had them now for a little while. I don't know what's going on, but it just seems like their product line this year, they've hit home run after home run after home run with their product line. Better quality, the inserts. We don't have 90s. I'm not saying it's 90s style inserts, but the inserts, even big league, for being a beginner or an entry level product, was a home run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody, the heritage this year, people that don't really look for heritage, I think people are really digging heritage this year for the inserts and for just the look of it, and the quality of it. Just seems a lot better. Have you felt the same way, and the guys in your orbit?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're doing the big league was a huge hit, and let's just hope that trend continues. I haven't noticed what's the big insert in Topps Heritage. I'm not.
Just it's really nothing. Just it looks like to me the quality of what they've done. They still do Heritage Chrome. That's a beautiful card when you hit those in your. I mean, I'm personally a little biased. 74 is my favorite Topps card.
Okay.
Personal reasons. It's like the first card that me and my dad opened. I was a little kid and read the back of it and learn player stats. And when I first started learning what RBIs and when he first started teaching me, right?
Yeah.
So 74 is like my earliest cards in my collection of my personal, not collection that he gave me, but cards that he bought for me as a 2-3-year-old.
Okay.
That's why 74 rings so with me.
Right.
I just love that design. And the chrome to me is just set off very nice. But I just think like the MVP they did the 74 All-Star cards. I really like theirs. We had the catcher and catcher of each league and first base, and
league leaders type of thing, or
league leaders. They did, same thing. And it's just how they did it and stay true and just
New Age performers. They still got that one. That one's
I don't know if New Age is in that one or not.
I'm
sure it is. I have a box I haven't opened. I watched.
You're going to flip it, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to flip it. I don't know. I don't know if you know. I only open one pack of cards a day. That's all I open.
Okay, yeah, I've heard
an old school collector, so
yeah.
Man, I used to open a blaster a day, a box a day. I used to, when I was living in Iowa, I would have a stack of boxes.
Yeah.
Now, I had learned through COVID, and now through recession, that's not the smart way to collect, right? I don't want, real quickly, I am tuning down what I collect. Me and you reached out to me. I haven't forgot about you. But now I'm going through my binders. I got 120 binders of players. Max Scherzer. I have a Max Scherzer rookie. I have a couple of them. I have an auto. That's all I need of Max Scherzer. I don't need 500 cards on Max Scherzer in my collection.
Yeah.
I just don't. Somebody else might want it, but I don't. Right. Ryan Sandberg. He's one of the guys in the, growing up that I like to watch, but he's not Mike Schmidt to me. He's not Robin Yount. Some of the other guys that I really, really like. But even those guys, I don't really need all their cards. I just need a few nice ones. And, I say, I didn't hit you're gonna hit somebody. You throw a rock, you're gonna hit somebody. Max is the man. I agree. Max is good. He's really been good in his last few starts. I don't want that to change. But anyway, so I've come to this reality. I have a handful of guys I like to collect. Pete Alonso is my top guy right now. After I bought the collection that you turned me on to with the Gary Carter, that has been hard to get anything with that. So New Age are in so some New Age performers are in Heritage every year. I thank you, Hitman.
Thought they were, yeah.
Yeah, I'm rethinking my collecting habits as well. I've seen a lot of videos on that this week. A lot of people rethinking on how they're doing it. But we all come. It's been an evolution with me ever since I started having extra funds.
Yeah.
Where I can do more than buy one pack when I go to 7-Eleven, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't have to sit there and go, do I want to get, a cheeseburger today, or am I going to buy a pack of cards? I've been in those situations, and we talked about it when I was in my 20s and, and stuff like that. And that's,
you took all your inventory with you from your old place to your new one now?
Yes.
Wow. And where did you put it? You got a storage facility or something?
No, I was going to I didn't have time. I came home. I had to go to a wedding in Virginia. I just got home to get through this tonight. I have a actual wall in my bedroom.
Okay.
Of steel racks, like the steel, and I have 2 rows of each on each rack, 3 stacks of 4 rows, a complete wall. So when they moved me, I forgot how many boxes they counted that they moved of my collection. And I had my better cards in my truck. So they didn't even know they were,
That's smart, yeah.
Yeah, I put all my autographs and everything that meant the world to me, and my high dollar stuff went in my vehicle when I moved from Iowa to Carolina.
Yeah.
But I have that, and then I have all these binders.
Okay.
I have a lot of cards, not a lot of some other people, and I've been collecting since the 70s, so you would think I would have a lot more than that. But like I said, there's a whole decade. I never really stopped. But in my area, in the late 90s and 2000s, cards were not easy to get in my area. 7-Eleven was about the only place where I could pick up a pack. I didn't have an LCS.
Right.
We didn't have our first Walmart wasn't until like 1988, 89.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Then that got destroyed by a tornado. Then it became a Sam's Club. But I grew up in a small community.
Me too.
A lot of population in our area around the community. But sports cards, we had card shows in our mall in the early 90s, but they went away as fast as they came. It was like we had them for a few years and then they just disappeared.
Yeah.
They became craft shows. So I didn't have the luxury. Like you always bring up the traded set, like the thing with the 86, 87 bonds, right?
I didn't know what traded sets were till 1986.
I didn't know they existed. My first year was the 89 Griffey, right? Is that right? Yeah, 89 Griffey, because I love Griffey so much. At a card show in 90 and saw that, and I was like, what is that? And I'll be honest, I have never seen, and this might take away my collector's card or whatever, but the first time I saw an 82 traded Cal Ripken card was 10 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
The first time I held one in my hand.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and
I've
heard it said, I did a video on it because it kind of triggered me, but it was, those traded sets were everywhere. No, them traded sets were not everywhere. There wasn't a card shop nowhere near my neighborhood. Card shops were in the nice neighborhoods.
Right. My town wasn't like the rough and rowdy, rugged towns. Like it was a small town, USA, right? Now it's bigger. We have a mall. We have, I'm in between a large college, Virginia State University and HBCU, and a large military base, one of the largest Army schools, training facilities in the country. So they built all this stuff in between it, which is my town. So now my little town, they call it a mini metropolis because we went from having stoplights that blinked every day and us 2 stop signs. We had 3 stoplights and 2 stop signs. Now it's, full blown city. My dad's like, the city's not big enough for all of this. Like, but that's kind of how I grew up. And I didn't know about the traded stuff. I never saw those mini boxes. So right. they wanted packs. When I saw traded, I was thinking like the 74, because I hope they bring out the tops. I hope they bring out, I think it's 74 that said the traded on there. Actually, the word traded on the front. And if they do high number with traded cards in there like that, that's going to be the
just they might. You never know.
And that would be awesome. And so
little subset or something.
Yeah, and that was how, because I don't agree. When I grew up, the first card after the first year they played was the rookie card.
Mm-hmm.
So if a guy played, he started in 81 like Cal Ripken did and played, but 82 was his rookie card, right? So it was like he played a handful of games and then played. But his card was at 82. I grew up, the 82 Future Stars was the card. It was no other. I mean, we collected Baltimore Orioles. It was, like I said, I never even knew that traded set existed. So
yeah, and I to me, both sides make a decent argument. They really do.
I agree with you.
To me, anymore, I just wish they would kill that doggone XRC identifier. The thing drives me crazy, but I put it like an asterisk RC for both of them, and I basically look at it as it's a rookie card that's debatable, right? And there's a handful of those in the hobby, especially in the 1980s.
Right. The early 80s.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where, to me, it kind of started. And then, when Griffey came, it was a race, like you've always said, it was the race to get the first rookie card out.
Right.
And it might even started with Bo Jackson, but, it was the race to get the guys out there.
Right. Right.
Me and Bob was talking a little bit. I wish they had a better plan. I wish it was more like hockey, because hockey, they can't make the card until the guy plays on the ice. He can't be in a minor league and he might come up. Well, we can't. There's no might, right? I mean, that's why this year we have Michael Harrison the second is a rookie card, but he won Rookie of the Year last year.
Well, they're supposed to do it that way, Scott. As of 2006, they're supposed to. They're not allowed to make a rookie card until they debut, but Topps, they're always looking for a loophole, man. They're always looking to create some kind of incentive for them, right? Not so much, let's follow hobby standards. Let's follow our own standards, and they're trying to milk a golden cow is what they're doing.
Thank you.
There's no reason a gold cup should be included with a rookie card logo. It's just ridiculous. It's just a money grab.
Right. And I tell you, I like continuing on what Topps is doing. When I looked at, I thought I was going to be let down when I looked at the checklist for Series 2. This checklist is awesome. The guys they missed in the first one are in the second one. I mean, the 2 Mets rookies are in there. You name the rookie that they didn't have in the first one that's playing now. It's pretty much in this Series 2. And so now as I scratch on my head, like, what are you going to do in update now? Because it's a lot of rookies in Series 2.
Is there? They got that Mets guy in there, Koda Shinga or something like that.
Well, that's right. Well, okay, you said him. So now they have 3. So they have Singa. So I have Singa and Bowman. I have him in Big League, because Big League was his first one. And then, so I got the Bowman, and so now Series 2 is coming out. But they also have Alvarez, the catcher, who's just hitting bombs and throwing people out at second, and Vientos is in it. So they only had Brett Beatty in the first one.
Pete's not getting any hobby love, man. What's going on with Pete?
What, Pete Alonso?
Yeah, he's got to pop off at some point here.
Well, I tell you, I'm always looking for. Here you go. You got Hitman agreeing with you. Some of his cards do well, and some of them I can get for next to nothing. But when I say do well, it's just more than I'm willing to pay for a guy that's only been in the league 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
I have a set price that I will not go over.
He's the all-time home run derby champion.
Well, today he tied. When I left, the home run, they said it was a home run. It wasn't a home run. He tied LaDuca for most home runs in Citi Field, and he did it in less than 100 games over 100 games less than LaDuca took to hit him. So he's hit 71 home runs or something like that in Citi Field. Alonso needs to pop. I need to flip. So. Yeah, I picked up a couple of golds last week. And Mike, I'll always talk to Mike. I just won't overpay. I don't care who it is. So actually, this orange. So a color match, which everybody loves, and I think it's out of 75. Sorry. So I picked that up. I picked that up for $20 shipped.
And they got orange in their uniform, don't they? The Mets.
Yeah, that for me, I like the orange better than the blue. So I like the secondary color a little bit better.
Yeah.
That's just a little preview for Wednesday. But I have a couple of golds that I've gotten for less than $20, $25. I just, as you said, but shh.
Yeah, no.
I like it.
I hear you. Change the subject.
Yeah. Yes.
And gold refractors are getting expensive, man. God,
yeah, that's our buddy is not helping. Eric,
yeah.
Every video he's talking about, I'm like, stop.
Yep.
Stop it. But I do agree. So that leads to, we're talking about all of our friends. We've had a great show so far, but let's talk about what's coming up. This is the road to the National. Me and Victor's had a couple of great nationals together. Last year I had to keep him hydrated because he forgot, I guess, drink. I had to hit him up with a Gatorade. He's like, you got
yeah. I mean, I was thirsty.
He's sitting there going, and the thing is, he was going to a box, saw me drinking a Gatorade. He's like, where you get that? I go, well, I brought it in. I got one.
I was going through such a good box. I did not want to move.
And I go, yeah.
I would have peed in my pants if I had to that night.
He drank it. He kept going. I was like, what's in that box, man?
I forgot about that.
He was getting it, too. I was like, yeah. So I know you love, I mean, I think one thing about the National is you see boxes, but they're not going to be necessarily dollar boxes. They can be 5, 10, whatever.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before. The showcases are nice. You might buy 1 or 2 things out of it during the week. But for most of us, we're going to be living in those boxes because that's where most of our collection is at these shows. Mm-hmm. I collect Frank Thomas, Griffey, Cal Ripken, even my Pete's. Most of them are in those boxes. Is that where you tend? I'm pretty sure you said you're going to make a first stop. I'm almost certain you'll probably make your first stop and try to hit the dollar at, what is it? The dollar.
There's the Singles Club.
Club. I think you and Dr. Beckett probably spent most of your time over there.
But right? I'm probably going to hit another guy before I go to Singles Club. There's even a better guy who was at Atlantic City last year, and he said he was going to be in Chicago. So we'll see.
Well, Victor, have you seen the layout for Chicago this year?
I have. I haven't studied it, but I have seen it.
Okay, I've shown it to almost everybody. I didn't have time to bring it up. I value Bosco enough to make you consider peeing your pants. That's the dream.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, a little known fact: he wears the pants. He's okay. But anyway, the layout is. I don't know if you ever had to. Have you always gotten a VIP when you've gone to Chicago? Have you ever had to go to the other sign and line up in the Elephant Walk to go across?
Yeah, I did that in 2017. Super VIP I got in 2018, and then last couple of years I had a press pass, but I opted not to do the press pass this year.
Really?
Yeah.
And you're doing more news now than you did before?
Yeah, it just leadership has changed, and I don't know who to send it to. You got to like create like a media kit and fill out this application and send it in, but I just didn't want to bother with updating my media kit and find out who do I got to send it to, and then sometimes they don't even respond to you, so you're kind of like in limbo until like you get there, and I don't like that. I'd like to be prepared, ready to go.
Which VIP pass did you get?
The only one that they're selling, I think, is the
daily pass,
the middle one. I don't know. The super VIP is sold out, I believe.
Yeah, I got the lower one that only lets you in for 5. I can't go to the super fantastic party at the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not interested, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but anyway, where you used to have to line up if you were in general admission to come in and walk across. That's all cards now. That's where they're doing the signings. So when you come into the building, you can either go to the right or the left to enter the show instead of just the left. So, right. And it's going all the way back there. So every dealer in America is going to be at this show. That's what my favorite is. I don't. It may be a few from our southern borders and northern. So, do you ever? I ask this of everybody's come on here. Do you think a show can be too big?
Man, that's a good question. I think what makes it too big is when you have the crowd, the herd of people that we had like 2 or 3 years ago in Chicago, where we were literally like walking around like penguins.
Right.
And it was such a big show, but to me, it wasn't about the square footage. It was just about the amount of people that were there. It was too big. It was too many people there.
Right.
Well, so that's how I would view that question.
Are you driving in every day like you have in the past?
Yeah, unfortunately I am. And it's typically like a 50-minute drive for me, but with construction, the Borman Expressway is full of construction this time of year. So it's going to be about an hour, 20 minutes one way for me. And I plan on maybe Thursday into Friday or Friday into Saturday. I plan on getting a room out there to just minimize the driving. Yeah. But I did do a hack move this past week, and I went ahead and changed my week's vacation to the following week, like a recovery week.
Okay. I usually take Monday off, but I'm driving this year.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drive in and I'm driving back. I'm still only taking Monday. I'm going to work Tuesday, and I already told them, I'm going to be in a nice corner somewhere. Just leave me alone.
Because I work in Riverdale, Illinois, which is about 20-30 minutes to the convention center. So it's like, I'm just going to go to work Wednesday, get off, and from work, I'm just going to go straight there.
Right.
I'm going to do the same thing on Thursday. And then Friday, I'm taking a vacation day. And then all the following week, I'm going to take that off. And
because Thursday, you're going to probably be late because of the get together.
Yeah.
Last year, that kind of ran late, which is fine. It was hard for us to find a place. So we couldn't find hotel rooms. We found an Airbnb. That's part of the reason why I'm driving. So we're a mile away, which it's not that much, but it's a little too far to walk. and just in case we don't want to do Uber every day, I can have a car. We can go get something to eat, whatever we need to do. We'll have a vehicle, and also I'm making a trip out of the trip, so we're gonna have a good time doing that.
Making memories.
That's right, Mike. We're gonna make some memories. So my question is always, I know you said you're going to be in the boxes. I know you have a store. I know you're always looking to find the bargains to fill out your store. But are you going to be working on, I know you have a fondness for Clemente. I know you're always looking for those rookie cards. Is there anything, maybe you want to tell us that you might be looking for with this many dealers that you might not be able to find somewhere else?
Yeah, I don't have my strategy down yet because it's all about the budget, right? I'm still working on once I get that final number as I get closer, then I'll probably make like a strategy. But I typically I got the set registries that I do, especially the one with Clemente, and I typically it's like a tradition for me to pick up a Clemente or two at the National, and I just like hunting for the ones that I need,
right?
And so that's probably going to be on the table. I would like to make one big to me anyways, which is probably $1,000 rookie card or something in that vicinity, but I don't know which one it would be at the moment.
It almost like, I don't know how you feel, and it sounds like you feel the same way. It's like you go to this show, you kind of want to make that memorable one, at least one purchase. You go, I got this one at such and such national.
Right.
It's hard to do that with a handful of cards you pull out of a box, but I will.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my favorite card in the show, $5. Because it gets old. We go there to see our friends that we see once a year, face to face. We talk to numerous times, but it's always nice to see them face to face.
Yeah, and you know what I find even more fun, Scott, is slab bargain boxes. That to me is even
last year was
fun.
That was some fun, and I think it's going to be even more when there's more slab companies out there.
Yeah.
That had the last 2 years their ups and downs.
You talk about a PSA 9 rookie card, man. You can find gobs of those things. Come on now, you're talking.
Right, and I brought this quite a bit. I like to find. If I'm going to do vintage, it's got to be in the lower stratosphere of grading. We're looking at 3, 4s, and below. They're hard to find at these shows because they're always want to put out their top stuff.
Right.
And it's really, I found some nice lower end stuff, 2 years ago, but last year it was kind of hard for me to find that stuff. Just seems like everybody was putting their high end stuff out there in the glass. And that's where last year I was really,
and it's not even like $500 or $1,000 card. They're like $25,000 cards, right?
Yeah. When you look at a case and it's 16 Jordan rookies and 13 Mantles, I'm just going to walk to the next table.
That's it.
We're in a different whole philosophy, way of life. It's just everything is different. I can't even have a conversation with the man on the counter.
Yeah.
I just. It's like last year, I think that one table in the vintage was nothing but Mantles. Beautiful to look at. I walk by there probably every day just to look at them. I don't collect Mantle, but I love baseball cards. That's the only time I'm going to see nice Mantles like that. And I don't know if you saw that table or not, but I was just in awe.
Yeah.
So you got anything you want to ask him, Mike?
Not specifically. I'm just having too much fun listening to you guys going back and forth.
Mike,
I'm just sitting there imagining myself walking through. You're talking about all these Mantles, and like I'll see the same thing, and then I'll also see some of like the old pre-war stuff, and I just look at it. Certain things, I'm like, yeah, there's no price on that, and for good reason, because I'm pretty sure it's tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, the guy standing back here with the white gloves on to show you the cards. Might as well walk somewhere else.
Mike, have you ever considered doing a national?
I have not.
No.
I think even if you were doing enough to do that and organized for like I don't know, it's just the national itself is so fun just to hang out and to look at stuff and to
I know, right?
Buy stuff. It would be tough.
Bind yourself to the table, right? No way. No, and you got to have like an inventory. That's why I asked you, because I know you've got a pretty hefty inventory, I'm sure.
It's just, I mean, I don't know enough about how it, what sells or not, but obviously there's got to be a reason because of all the expenses and stuff. There's a reason these people generally are going to put out their priciest stuff. But of course, there's always a market for everything.
Yeah. That's Bobbles there, 540 flips.
Yeah, so Bobbles has got he's in a
yeah,
so he is
flipping curling irons or something, isn't he?
Yeah, well, he's flipping anything he can, man. He is.
That a boy, Bobbles. That's how you do it, man.
Well, he's got a new channel, and the intro music is Sanford and Son. So,
oh, wow. I have not seen the new channel.
Yeah, he's having he looked like he was on last week. When you talk to him, you could just see the glow, like he's
digging it.
Yeah, he's just having so much fun with it, and that's what you got to do with anything like this. If you're not having fun, why are you doing it? That's why I don't like people getting stressed out or getting mad about things. It's all right when something angers you or just to talk about it.
Yeah,
let's move on. We're collecting men on baseball on cards that play little boy sports.
Yeah, man. It's getting harder and harder making even YouTube content, man. Just so many narratives, so many opinions, so many,
Yeah, and and I sit here and I watch it, and I know I'm going to let you go here, man. I know we're going over an hour. But I want to touch on this. I saw a video last week, one of those 1 minute quickies on YouTube. And the guy was talking about and the reason why I stopped, because he was talking about the 86 Barry Bonds. And it was in an 8. He was talking about how much one of those sold. If you find these 80s cards, it's not, you might want to see what you got. But it was a Tiffany, right? So he turned it over and he goes, people ask me why it's a Tiffany. Well, first off, it's got the bright back. I go, okay. It has a T by the number.
Jackass.
What a noob.
I was like, dude, what? For the traded. No,
right.
Like, does he not know that's traded? Like, how you really know is you go down and it's by the trademark. There's a little asterisk down there.
Yeah.
And it either has it or it doesn't if you're really looking to see if it's a Tiffany or not. So the Tiffany's have them. They're either 1 year they'll have 2 of them, 1 year there's only 1, and it's by the trademark. And I'm like, how did this guy, what? And then so I went to his channel. I did put a mark on it and go, hey man, you just let you know that's for traded. And other people did too. I was like,
okay, good.
And other things. And I went to his channel, and he's a coin channel. And I was like, okay, stick with what you know, brother.
Right.
Because I don't make coin videos. So.
Yeah, I think I'm going to start making some hockey and basketball videos tonight. Act like I know everything.
I was like, oh, when he said the T, I was like, oh.
I don't know much about hockey. That's the one sport I can bust out
I don't either.
I can bust out some 1991 Premier,
I have friends that know hockey, and I know them. That's what I know about hockey.
Right, me too.
So that's how I live. In basketball, I have some older basketball. Like I have a Dr. J rookie, Ralph Sampson auto 1/1, some stuff that means stuff. I have some nice Jordans inserts that I need to get graded from the early 90s. So, but
go.
other than that, but anyway, Victor, I'm so happy you came on, man.
Yeah, anytime, guys.
I think we got 6 weeks, and we're at the show, something like that. I might be even. I think the 7 weeks would be the end of the show, which is the worst day.
Yeah.
So, what's your plans? You plan on being there somewhat Wednesday through Sunday, or?
Yeah. I'm gonna do a checkup on my feet on Sunday.
Okay.
And that'll be but I plan on being there all 5 days.
Okay, that's awesome. So am I at this moment. Do you want to promote one of the 100 things you got going on, or anything that you got? Hobby Hotline. What's that? What's the one you're doing with the news now?
Hobby News Daily. I'm a writer for that one. Yeah.
Right.
And man, just bouncing around doing my thing.
Yeah, and man, you're killing it, dude. You're everywhere. You're giving us the news. You're not afraid to talk about hot topics. And it's something I tried to pivot because the rookie card, when it's like rookie cards all the time, right? You can tell your numbers start to dip and that kind of thing, and just people get tired of hearing about you can only talk about the rookie card in so many times, right? Right.
So
right.
I try to still be centered on the rookie card, but pivoting to like current hot topics. And it was kind of suggested to me many times in the comments. I even had some close hobby friends that kind of say, hey Vic, you got some pretty solid takes, you ought to consider talking about them, and I'm just pivoting, just trying to experiment to see what works, see what sticks, that kind of thing.
What I don't like, Victor, is you choose your words too well and you don't upset enough people.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
One take, do it and stick with it.
Yeah, I hear you.
That's what I want from you, Victor. I don't want you to, sugarcoat anything. Just go right at it. Tell us how you feel. Just one time.
There you
go. Well, Victor, I want to say thanks again. Thanks, Mike, for being Mike. I learned a lot from both of you tonight, and thanks to everybody that was here tonight in the chat. Again, Wednesday, can't wait to show off some of my cards. Same week as usual, and tomorrow, me and my dad will be talking. I think we're talking Cincinnati Reds tomorrow, so tune in for that. I'll be.
Can't wait for your Nick Senzel take.
Votto is doing better, so we're.
Yeah.
So until next time, like, share, tell a friend. I have somebody already. Hopefully they'll touch with me. Somebody I've never talked to before. Really looking forward to that. It's actually a group. Really looking forward to that one. So hopefully it comes through. So until next time, like, share, tell a friend. And I keep forgetting, hit that thumbs up. Don't be scared. Just tap it one time.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. Until next time, see ya.
Peace.